Welcome back to the Code Yellow podcast. So glad to have you back. We're just going to dive right in. We're talking about relationships, dishing the gender wars, and we're talking about love and being together with just scripture and common sense. Not making it complicated, keeping love nice and simple for everybody. Zal, what you got for us?
Y'all, all right, my question of the day is if you can be any condiment, what would that condiment be and why?
Be?
Like if rewind.
Right, I was like,
That's okay. That is okay. We could do it. We could do it.
All right, my question of the day is if you had to choose a condiment, what would it be?
Ketchup.
Why?
Easy.
Why?
So, okay. Ketchup, I think, is... Somebody's going to crucify me in the comments. I think ketchup is a condiment with the most utility. And it's like, it's just good on so much stuff. And then if you cook, like you can use it to help make sauces, gravies. It helps add color, helps add some flavor, acidity. If you know about cooking, you know acidity is one of the keys to making your food taste good. And it's a little bit sweet. So there's that element too.
okay.
What you got, Annie?
Okay, I like mustard, but also I would say the cane sauce or the Chick-fil-A Polynesian. Yeah,
That Polynesian sauce be
Yeah.
hitting. You have to choose one, Jazz. She hates games like this. You have to choose one, baby.
It just depends what I'm in the mood for.
And she's pregnant, so...
Yeah, but even when I'm not, different sauces for different things.
That's true.
I agree.
That's true. Like, I like ketchup on fries, but not necessarily on chicken nuggets as much, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will put like
see that.
ketchup next to Chick-fil-A sauce, next to barbecue sauce, and like,
Yeah.
depending on... Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I get that.
I guess, so even though I like all the condiments. I'll probably say barbecue sauce because I do like barbecue sauce in my sandwiches. I'll dip my fries in them.
It's more like
I
universal
don't really
for
feel like
you.
that's a true reflection of who I am, but okay, I have to pick one.
You have to pick one. Mine is, y'all know I'm a little bougie. I'm just saying. Mine can only be found at Whole Foods.
Of course.
Jasmine knows. Yeah. So it's coconut. It's sriracha, but it's coconut sriracha.
What?
By like this ninja. The brand is literally something ninja. I can't remember it right now, but it's coconut sriracha. It's the greatest thing I've ever tasted in the whole wide world. Like
What
I
do you
like it
put
above.
on?
Like, let my family tell it. I put sriracha on
You put some
Well,
on
that I already
everything.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's literally sriracha
It's
sauce
sriracha
just with
sauce. It's just a
coconut?
healthier alternative to the like maybe the
The
brands
one-
you're used
yeah,
to because
yeah.
some of the preservatives.
Yeah.
Things like that. So he likes it for that reason, but it also tastes good. So it's healthy,
Yeah.
it tastes good. And it literally I'm like, we buy like sriracha is the ketchup of our house.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, sir.
Yo,
like,
y'all must be on the toilet, yo. I'm telling
not
you.
even. He puts on everything, and
Yeah.
I get like sad if we don't have ketchup. Like ketchup is needed. It's a staple, right? But yeah, sriracha sauce for this guy.
You have to bring it next time we record.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, legit.
That sounds-
I changed mine. I know if I have to pick one, Thai chili sauce, but not just no any run of the mill, not no.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw any restaurants under the bus, but nothing from like fast food restaurants, stuff like that. It is like the I think
You
it's a
could say Panda
Vietnamese.
Express.
I was gonna say Panda Express.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
that one.
it's not that.
Oh, what if they want to sponsor us?
We love you. We love you, Panda Express.
We love y'all. I'll
lot.
eat it.
A
Panda
lot.
Express has changed. It's not what it was in the 90s.
Mercy.
Okay, so I'm good. But it's actually a Vietnamese brand. And can't think of what it's called right now. But that is the legit Thai chili sauce. It's not even too spicy. It's the balance of sweet and spicy. And you can put it on everything.
Is it like spicy?
No, it's not. It's not even as spicy as sriracha.
Really?
Yeah, it has chili flakes in it. You can see it. But it's just, I don't know. It's good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so Thai chili
Sounds like
sauce.
we're having a potluck the next
Right.
time we all
Yes.
get together.
No,
That's
like,
what I heard.
actually,
Yeah.
We're overdue for one.
Yes.
Like, in truth.
Actually, yeah.
There's something I was going to say on condiments. There was something. I had it. It was there.
Get it.
Condiments.
Here's it back.
Condiments. Oh, it's gone. It's probably going to come up in the middle of the episode.
Okay.
And I'm gonna,
You just throw it in.
Yeah, just bring it back.
really
When it comes to.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it comes to mine, just bring it. It'll be like commercial break.
It's gone. Anyway, we'll let bygones be bygones. But our topic for today, we're talking about rock star relationships. And it's a special topic that Zav came across, and he's going to kind of open it up for us.
Rockstar lifestyle might not make. Oh, sorry, that was my BC days. I'm back. All right. BC before Christ. I mean, that's still new Christ. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, let me just.
Okay. We're all a work in progress.
Yes,
It's okay.
yes, Lord, yes, Lord.
I like to think of myself as well-rounded.
Amen to
Yeah,
that.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just round. You know, dad bod's coming in.
Wow.
That was
Yeah,
good.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was watching. So driving home from work, I like to listen to the Willie Moore Jr. show. Big ups to Willie Moore Jr. He's actually my frat brother as well. So Willie Moore Jr. He has a great show, and he has doctors on, and I think he had Dr. Tart. I follow them both on Instagram, and he said, in order to have a relationship, y'all got to be rock stars and whatnot. So when I heard it, I was like, what does that mean? But I'm an acronym guy, so he said. He was talking to the women. He was like, ladies, remember your man has to be your rock. He needs to have a routine. He needs you to open your mouth. So that means communicate. Don't give him the silent treatment. Tell him how you really feel. Ladies, tell your husband what you want to eat. Don't just be expecting him to know. He can't read your mind. I'm just saying.
I be knowing. What
Also, C, he stands for contact. So he's gonna need that contact. He's gonna need the touch. He's gonna need to just be able to have that contact with you, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical. And last but not least, he needs that kindness. He don't want to come home from work. The world beats him down as a man, and then he gets home to an unkind wife.
Yeah.
But you know, us men, we also have a responsibility for our women to be our stars. And our ladies need satisfaction. They need to know that, like, yo, you're doing things to the best of your satisfaction. And her satisfaction as well. They need touch, you know, physical touch. You can't just be like, hey, what's up, baby? You know, they need to feel appreciated. And last but not least, they need to respect his routine. So be able to respect his routine. So fellas, we need a routine, right? But also the R stands for like respecting his routine, because sometimes men are from Mars, women are from Venus, so we don't always understand why people do things that way. And I think a couple episodes ago we talked about like having a routine. So the R stands for respecting his routine. So rockstar lifestyle, rockstar couples. Let's get into it.
Right. So just for a little bit of clarity, so she is to be his rock, as in, or no, she's to regard him as her rock, and because he's her rock, she's gonna do these for ROCK for him.
Yes.
And then he needs to see her as his star,
Right.
and he is going to be STAR for her, right? All the things you said, they're so key, so important, and they also sound like things that each side would want.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking that too. What do you guys like as the married men? Like, do you guys feel like that is what men are looking for? And I guess then Jasmine and I can answer like if the star,
Right. Like, do you all feel like that's accurate?
So yes, okay. So just from starting from rock, right? Like the K part, kindness, that's unmatched. It's really unmatched.
Facts.
Like think about it. Like even like Solomon says it in Proverbs, right? Like it's better to live in the corner of a housetop
Oh yeah.
than to be inside the house with,
With
a
a
contentious
quarrelsome.
wife, right? So I mean, if there's beef, there's no peace. Oof. That's why they're vegan now.
I was thinking it. I didn't say it.
Speaking of beef, I remembered my condiment thing now. What's something that goes excellent on burgers is A1 sauce.
Yeah.
A1 sauce. Every time I go to Five Guys, it's on there.
Really?
It's on there. A1. Yep. If it's not on there, I feel like something's missing.
Have you had
no
it
matter.
before?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had it before, but it was a million years ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like rich, kind of a dark flavor, acidic.
It's very acidic.
And it's like, it's almost acidic to the point of almost like vinegar, right? But like when you have it with the whole ensemble,
Yeah.
it adds that nice little burst of saltiness that adds that extra layer of flavor to your burger. Almost whatever you put it on. Don't overdo it, of course.
I know
but-
people eat it on steak.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah. I think that's like the level 1 use of A1 in my opinion. Like, I mean,
So
yeah,
you have the
sure.
upgraded use of it. Okay, facts. For sure.
Yes. So back to the kindness thing. Like, okay, I think about it like this. a lot of time when we hear the conversation, right? Oh, it's all about your tone, your delivery. That's important for women, and it's also important for men, right? Because it's a little bit tough just in life, given that, men aren't really socialized to understand their deepest emotions, right?
Right.
So there's sometimes are barriers to understanding how we feel, and having somebody talking to us about, regardless of the topic, having somebody talk to us in the way that's kind of like a little bit aggressive or a little bit demeaning, it kind of makes that self-understanding a little bit tougher. Like, it makes the whole situation harder. Be kind. Like, those softer words, just, I think they can be more effective. Now, there are situations where if you're not effectively articulating what you need from the man, need from him, the message might not get through if you're sugarcoating, right? So there's kindness, right? But you still have to be thorough in your communication.
Like, open your mouth.
Right. Right. And open your mouth in a helpful way. There are several helpful ways to open your mouth, but we'll talk about the verbal. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Opening your mouth involves actually articulating what you feel and what that means for this current time, instead of leaving it up to chance, leaving it up to a guess. Because when the core of what you meant isn't met, people are upset. It's avoidable.
So you talked about the K of the rock and the O. So I'll talk about the R and the C. Respect to his routine. I think that's really important. It's not relatable content for me, but like, I have a spouse who just respects like what it is that what it is that I do. You know what I mean? As far as like whether it's working a second job, like I'm like, hey, I'm going to the gym. I haven't been in a while. No judgment, but like she respects like the routine that I try to do, and she supports me like tremendously. So like, if you're a lady watching this, like, try to respect his routine and just understand, of course, like, don't be so indulged in your routine that you're not even spending time with your lady. Like, I think that is the other side of the coin. And contact is real as well. Like, contact is important, but also, and he called me up like Devin and I, like, Renaissance evolved men, but contact isn't only like sex, of course, right? But it's also like, one of the greatest things that I love about marriage is like the closeness of it, of just the institution. You're in the bed with someone that, like, that will be birthing your children, that you're creating a legacy with. Closeness, contact. I like alliteration. Give me another C word, baby. Chips.
I'm kidding.
You're fired. You're fired.
I hire you.
Yeah.
I hire you after.
My intrusive thought.
Right. And I love chips. But contact is so important, and just even affection, and just being able to, hey baby, like, I'm feeling like down and out, or this didn't go my way, or these so like, making sure that contact, you're connecting through contact, I guess, emotionally, spiritually, physically, just in a holistic. I'm a holistic guy, like, in a holistic way. So
yeah. Going back to contact, like, one of my top languages is physical touch. Recently reorganized to active service being the top, but physical touch is still very much up there. There's something like, when you have a lot of inner turmoil going on for whatever reason, whether it be from work or just other things.
Life be life.
Right? Life be life. That's another podcast topic. Look out for that one. Something about that genuine, that I call them bosom hugs. Put it together. Like, something about that warmth, that embrace, that's, you didn't have to beg for it. It just came to you. There's nothing like it.
It's nothing like it.
Okay.
She sits here in singleness. Unmarriedness.
And ladies, what about y'all? Like, do you the star? I want kind of like.
Can you remind us what those acronyms, what each letter stood for?
Yes, of course.
Satisfaction, touch,
appreciated
appreciation.
and
And
respect
another
his
respective routine.
Respect his routine.
Oh, respect is your
So
okay.
wait, doesn't Rock say respect his routine, or was
No,
this
that he needs to have
have
a
one,
routine.
right?
have one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So I'm wondering if, and you said the star that women, this is what men need, and men, this is what women need.
Okay. I
So
mean,
you-
I agree with it. I think women are just so complex and we're all just so different. I agree with all of it because I think like women do need like satisfaction and touch and appreciation for sure. I think all of those like touch on, I mean, we've talked about it before, but like touch on each like love language in some way. And so I feel like that's
I think
why
that's where
it
he was going.
identifies,
Yeah.
like
That's
with
good.
each one, because it's like, it kind of ties back in like the physical touch element, the
sure.
acts of service, so like all of it. So I think it like very much brings it back in. And so I would agree. I think also, again, like it's just each woman is different, and so, or in each men are all different too. And I think also people go through different seasons of life where some things matter more than they do
Right.
than like the other one. And so in some seasons, like if you're building, the respect and like the, you know, what was like the communication like aspect of like opening your mouth matter more than like the physical touch. Cause like, okay, I'll bring in singleness, like the physical touch aspect of it, like I can't really, like I'm not allowed. So like
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Amen. But like it's not allowed versus like, so in this season of like me and my boyfriend, like all the other aspects matter more. And it's not, and my love language is physical touch. And so that matters also just in the context of what is biblically like allowed at this time.
Yeah.
But then, you know, because my love language is physical touch, probably the beginning of my marriage, like, I mean, it's gonna matter a lot more to me then. And so like, I think like there's room for growth, even like there's room to grow out of it, because it might matter more now, but then like sickness can come in and then you're not allowed like physical touch, or you're not, you know, like, and so I think like the acronym is beautiful. And I think both of them like hit, because I think it matters to each person. Like it's a well-rounded way to, regardless of what your love language is, to like bring it back all. But also like talk to your partner about like exactly what they're needing in like a specific season, because the acronym is beautiful, but also like which part of the acronym do they need more of like right now?
Right.
Does that
Yeah,
make
it
sense?
does make
Okay.
sense. And also with ROCKSTAR, when Zabians first introduced the concept to us, I was thinking of it individually, like the rock part and the star part, and just like, oh, okay, they came with these concepts and they were able to spell rock and spell star with them. When you think about the idea of a rock star, you're not by yourself. Like it's not all on you, right? So it's like in this
Right.
relationship, you need both in order for it to shine, in order, you know, it's not just about the man or just the woman or, you know, you individually in the relationship. You're going to be in a relationship and it's going to be successful. However you identify a successful relationship being, it takes both parts to be the rock star. So that's like what I took away from it the most. Yeah.
Also, Jazz, they're complete words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my
Complete
gosh.
on their own, but together, like
Rockstar.
yeah, rock star.
I love
A
that.
whole another meaning too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bigger meaning. Yeah. Also, with the touch and the contact, you know, someone might think of those being synonymous with each other. But I think we actually kind of touched on it a little bit off camera, that for men and women, that can look different. You know, it could also look the same. And I think, like you were, to your point, knowing your significant other is important. But I know a lot of times for women, touch is not just about, you know, an end goal, but touch, a non-intimate touch, right?
Yeah.
You know, and just the presence. And it could be, there's some, you know, it could just be holding hands, a hug, or just knowing you're there without looking for, I guess, like I said, for it to lead to something
Yeah,
else, you know, and I
exactly.
know that's important to women, and that could very well be important to men too. But what I initially got from the C and Rock is that men need contact in general. Like, don't,
Right.
you know, leave a brother hanging.
Yeah.
And there's just no, you know, physical contact at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but leaving alone the sex part, a lot of I would argue that a lot of men are starving for positive, non-sensual touch.
I agree with that.
Like it's
That
even
would be an example.
okay. Okay, so we grew up. We're kind of in a different era today than we were when we were younger, right? But like, I know that I got hugs from my dad. You know, sometimes like it wasn't like a thing. Like, oh, don't hug me. You're a man. Like, but there's more than enough people that went through that. Or like, oh, like
don't cry.
Don't cry. Like, don't do this. That's gay. Like, you know, like stuff like that. Kind of like toxic parts of the culture that make it weird for a man to desire some physical affection that's not sexual. Like I kind of have observed, tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will, that like society kind of tells men that there's two things that we love, and that's food and sex, right? The reality is that those two things, while they're awesome, they really cover a multitude of unmet emotional needs, right?
Amen
because
to
think
that.
about it. Food is easy, like a gift.
It's a quick fix.
Yeah, it serves as a gift. It can serve as an act of service. Can serve as quality time. Can show can show appreciation. Sex easily hits all 5 love languages very easily. So it's kind of like a cheat to like avoid actually doing the things that actually internally matter to the individual, right? So we don't. All right, let's say. Like, we know that our wives need tenderness, right? They need it. But we also need it, and we don't always get it, or we don't always know that we need it, so we don't seek it directly, you know?
No, I think it's so, I mean, just look at the hip hop culture. I don't even mean to sound like a historian or like a, I don't know, pop culture pundit, which I am, but y'all supposed to laugh.
I got you.
I understood.
I sent to LOL inside.
Jasmine knows, but like it's so pervasive on like in our current culture that like sex girls, you know what I mean, and it's just like, yo, these dudes are out here killing people because of something that's going on internally, emotionally, or what. Now you have a lot of exploits with women because of things that are going on emotionally. So I think there's something to be said about like, oh yeah, sex and food is all men need. It's like, nah, it's actually a lot more that we need. Maybe healing some trauma. Maybe it is healing the 10-year-old boy. You know what I mean? That we're just not recognizing. But when you have money, when you have power, when you have stature and status, these things can kind of get overlooked quite often.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's almost like reasons to say, oh, I have this. I don't have, I shouldn't be feeling any kind of way. I'm going to try to cover it up with more of it, right? You know, it's just, we can kind of get lost thinking that, oh, this is all we need.
Right.
Yeah, it's bigger than that. And that's why, like, now the discussion on the ROCKSTAR relationship, like, it's kind of important because, like, what are we missing out on that could really kind of take our relationships to the next level?
Wow, that's good. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, so do we know any rock stars in our lives? Like, I think every relationship needs a mentor, like a mentor relationship to like look at that kind of is that example. Like, do you guys have that, like a couple you look up to?
I mean, before I got married, it was definitely my grandparents. I mean, they were married like the longest, and they just worked so well together. Like my grandfather was the cook in the family. My grandmother, she was like the baker, but she was also like the nurturer and did like everything else. So that was like my first example of like a rock star relationship. And I love how people, especially like on social media, you know, they'll talk about like their own spouse or their parents and just like, he wasn't a perfect father. He wasn't a perfect, but he was perfect for me. Right. And I was just, I think there's something to be said about that. Like, we're not going to be the perfect spouse, brother, employee. We're not gonna be the perfect anything, but guess what? For where, you know, you are at your agency and with your company, Annie, for such a time as this, you're the perfect nanny for that family at this time. No one else can do what it is that you're called doing this time. Devin, same thing with your job. Jasmine, just where you are in your life. So I think about that quite often, like just making sure that we're not trying to like live up to this like perfect like couple relationship, and like we could be rock stars, but guess what? Rocks are also very rigid and rough, and they can be beautiful. Like I'm from Miami. I love going to the West Coast and in Denver and looking at the mountains and things of that sort. Those things are very beautiful, but like up close is very rigid and some oftentimes not pretty. And they're rocks, they're hard and they're rough, but it's can still be beautiful. So the rock star were my grandparents, and I know they weren't perfect people that had a perfect relationship, but they were still rock stars and it was still beautiful. And I aspire to have that relationship as well. Like, nah, it ain't perfect because we're two flawed human beings, but it's gonna be beautiful, baby, with the rocks and the ridges and the ups and downs and the just all of that working together.
Yeah. I think we already kind of jumped over a little bit over time, but I think that this conversation is a beautiful one. Look for people in your life that you can look to, and then also look inside, see how you can be a rock or a star to your partner. As always, be safe, stay loved, and heal responsibly. Have a good one.
Peace.